Welcome back to my channel, Pocket Change Coins. If you're excited about finding hidden gems in your pocket change, you're in the right place. First, we're going to uncover some of the most valuable and rare US coins that could be worth a fortune. Let's dive in. We're about to take a closer look at a coin that often gets passed around without a second thought, the 1979 United States $1 coin. At first glance, it might not seem like much, but some versions of this coin could be worth more than you ever imagined. So grab a seat, because this story is packed with surprises, history, and potentially a serious payday. Let's start by setting the scene. The year was 1979. The disco era was still alive, inflation was rising, and the US Mint decided it was time for a change. That change came in the form of a brand new dollar coin, the first small-size dollar ever issued in the United States. Until that point, US dollar coins were large, heavy, and not very practical for everyday use. People simply didn't carry them around. So the Mint introduced something smaller, more convenient, and designed for modern commerce. Enter the Susan B. Anthony dollar. Now, this wasn't just another coin, it was a statement. For the first time in American history, a real woman, not a mythical figure, appeared on circulating U.S. currency. Susan B. Anthony was a champion of women's rights, a suffragette, and a trailblazer. Featuring her on the dollar coin was a bold move, intended to mark progress and honor equality. The obverse side of the coin features her portrait along with 13 stars, the date, and the word liberty. On the reverse, you'll see an eagle landing on the moon, a design based on the Apollo 11 mission insignia, celebrating America's achievement in space. But while the design was meaningful, the public reaction was complicated. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was similar in size and color to the quarter, which led to confusion. People avoided using them. Vending machines didn't accept them easily. And though the coins were minted in large numbers, they quickly became unpopular and underused. But here's where things start to get interesting for collectors. Even though millions of these coins were made, not all $1,979 coins are created equal. In fact, there are several different varieties, and some of them are extremely rare. The key to unlocking a coin's true value lies in the details, the mint mark, the condition, and in some very special cases, small differences in the design itself. Let's break it down. The $1,979 coin was minted at 3 different U.S. mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. You'll see the mint mark, P, D, or S, right near the date on the obverse side. Most of these coins are common, especially in circulated condition. But if you look closely at certain 1979 S coins, you might notice something very unusual. There are 2 main types of proof coins from the San Francisco Mint in 1979, Type 1 and Type 2. Type 1 has a filled or blob-like S mint mark, while Type 2 features a clear, sharp S. Type 2 is much rarer and more valuable, especially in pristine proof condition. But that's just one piece of the puzzle. Now, here's where things go to the next level. Every once in a while, a coin emerges that doesn't just have a clean strike or rare mint mark. It has an error or variety that's so unique, it becomes a collector's dream. We're talking about misstrikes, off-center minting, double dies, or transitional errors. These flaws are often the result of a glitch in the minting process, and they're incredibly rare. In the case of the $1,979 coin, there are a few known examples that contain errors so unique that they've become legends in the numismatic world. Imagine having one of these coins in your collection, maybe tucked away in a coin album, or forgotten in a drawer. That's the magic of coin hunting. Something as ordinary as a dollar could turn out to be a jackpot. Now, if you're wondering how to tell if your $1,979 coin is worth anything, here's what to check. First, the condition. Is it shiny and uncirculated? No scratches, dings, or wear. That's a good start. Next, look at the mint mark. If you've got an S, look closely to see if it's a Type 2. You might need a magnifying glass, but trust me, it's worth it. And if you happen to notice something strange or off about the design, doubling in the letters, unusual spacing, or even a coin that looks slightly off-center, you could be looking at a rare mint error, and that brings us to the big reveal. While most $1,979 coins are worth only their face value or slightly more, some rare varieties, especially those in pristine condition with unique errors or characteristics, have shocked the collector world with their sale prices. And in one jaw-dropping case, a rare specimen of the $1,979 coin, with a very specific combination of minting anomaly and condition, fetched a staggering $115,000. Yes, you heard that right. $1 turning into $115,000. That's the kind of return you don't see every day, and it's all because someone took a closer look at what others ignored. So the next time you get change at the store or dig through an old coin jar, don't dismiss the humble dollar coin. Take a moment. Flip it over. Check the date. Look at the details. Because your ordinary coin might just be a hidden gem. Second rare coin, we're diving into the world of the 1971 United States $1 coin. This hefty piece of American currency might just be sitting quietly in your collection or hiding among your old change, but don't be fooled by its common appearance. Some versions of this coin are anything but ordinary, and they could be worth a staggering amount of money. Stick around until the very end, because you won't believe what one rare version of this coin has sold for. It's a jaw-dropper, and if you have one like it, you could be holding on to a small fortune. Now let's talk about where this coin fits into American coin history. In 1971, the United States Mint made a major move. The silver dollar had been out of circulation for several years, and it was time for a comeback, one that would honor not only American currency traditions but also one of the most iconic figures of the 20th century, President Dwight D. Eisenhower. Thus, the Eisenhower dollar was born. It was the first dollar coin issued by the U.S. Mint since the Peace Dollar series ended in 1935, and the first one ever struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition intended for mass circulation. The obverse features a bold, commanding portrait of President Eisenhower, while the reverse proudly displays an eagle landing on the moon, a nod to the Apollo 11 mission and America's dominance in the space race. This was more than just a coin, it was a patriotic symbol in your pocket. But here's where things get especially interesting for collectors. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar was the very first year this coin was minted, and it was struck at the Denver Mint, hence the D Mint mark just below the date. Now, these coins were made primarily for circulation. They were intended to be used, spent, traded, and carried in wallets and pockets across America. But not all coins are struck equally. Some come out flawless. Others, not so much. And in rare cases, something completely unexpected happens at the mint, a die error, a planchet mix-up, or an unintentional variation that creates a truly rare piece. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar has attracted a lot of attention over the years because of some of these very errors and anomalies. While the standard version is made of a copper-nickel-clad metal, some rare versions were mistakenly struck using leftover 40% silver planchets intended for proof coins. That's right, silver versions of a coin that wasn't supposed to be silver at all. These rare errors are incredibly hard to find, but they're out there, and they've made headlines in the coin collecting community. But let's pause here and talk about something every collector needs to understand: condition matters. A coin's value isn't just about the date or the mint mark. It's also about its condition, its clarity, and whether it has been preserved over the decades. Coins that have never been in circulation and show no signs of wear, what collectors call mint state, are in a completely different league. If one of these rare variants also happens to be in mint state condition, well, that's the kind of combination that gets serious attention from top buyers and auction houses. So, what should you look for? First, flip the coin over. Check for any unusual coloring or weight, it might hint at a silver content. Look for strong, clear details in the engraving, and examine the mint mark closely. If you notice anything unusual in the strike, like doubled letters, off-center images, or unexpected features, you may be holding a mint error. And don't forget to weigh it. A standard-clad Eisenhower dollar should weigh about 22.68 grams. If your coin is heavier, you might be holding one struck on a silver planchet. These details may seem small, but to a trained collector or grading expert, they can make all the difference between pocket change and life-changing value. Now, let's talk numbers. Most 1971 D Eisenhower dollars in average circulated condition are worth a little over face value. But coins in mint condition, or those with verified errors, can fetch far more. Some have sold for hundreds. Others have gone for thousands. And then there are the truly rare, nearly flawless pieces, the coins that were struck with a perfect hand, preserved against all odds, and contain something truly unique. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. One of these rare 1971 D Eisenhower dollars, featuring an exceptionally rare minting error and graded in outstanding condition, once shocked the numismatic world by selling for an eye-popping total of $99,000. Yes, you heard that right. $1 coin. $99,000. That's the kind of magic hidden in plain sight. So, before you dismiss those old coins sitting in a box, or write off that bulky dollar coin in the back of your drawer, take a second look. The details matter. Your coin could be the next rare discovery. Third expensive coin, we're going deep into the story of a big, bold piece of American currency, the 1972 D $1 coin. It's large, it's iconic, and if you have the right one, it could be worth more than you ever imagined. Most people have seen this coin, maybe in a drawer or passed around at a flea market. It's heavy, flashy, and feels different from any other coin in your pocket. But the truth is, very few people know how valuable this coin can be. Some are just common dollars. But others? They've become legends in the world of collectors, and for very good reason. Let's rewind the clock to 1972. America was in a period of change. The space race had made history, and the memory of the moon landing was still fresh in the nation's mind. The U.S. Mint wanted to create a coin that celebrated American achievements, honored a great leader, and stood out in every way. So they struck the Eisenhower dollar, named after the World War II general and former President Dwight D. Eisenhower. The 1972 D dollar coin, in particular, was minted at the Denver Mint, and you'll see the small d right beneath the portrait of Eisenhower on the obverse. It was designed not just to function as currency, but to represent the power, progress, and pride of the American spirit. On one side, you have the strong and serious face of President Eisenhower. On the other, a majestic eagle landing on the moon, a design inspired by the Apollo 11 insignia. That eagle, with wings spread and talons gripping an olive branch, is not just a symbol. It's a story. A message of peace, achievement, and strength. Millions of these coins were minted. They were meant to circulate, to be spent and traded across the country. But here's the twist: even though there were so many made, certain versions of this coin are incredibly rare. And that rarity is where the value hides. Now, the 1972 D Eisenhower dollar is different from the Philadelphia minted versions that year. While the Philadelphia coins had multiple reverse designs, the Denver minted ones had their own quirks. And some of them came out with striking mint errors, errors that have become extremely sought after by serious collectors. Imagine a coin that was struck off-center. Or one with a double die, where the details on the coin appear slightly shifted or layered. Some coins were even struck on the wrong type of metal planchet. These errors are rare, and because they're so unusual, they stand out like a beacon to coin hunters. But let's not forget condition. If you have a 1972 D dollar that has been sitting untouched for years, still shiny, with no scratches, dents, or wear, then it could already be considered valuable. Coin collectors place a massive premium on condition. A coin that looks like it was minted yesterday is a dream find, especially from a year like 1972. You might be wondering, how do I know if I have a special one? First, check for that D mint mark under the date. That confirms it came from Denver. Then, look closely at the details. Use a magnifying glass if you need to. Are the letters doubled? Does anything look off-center or shifted? Is the image clear and sharp? Then, weigh the coin. A regular Eisenhower dollar should weigh about 22.68 grams. If it weighs more or less, that might be a sign of a minting error. Some collectors also seek out coins that have never been touched, uncirculated coins that came straight from mint rolls. These coins can carry values that are drastically higher than the same coin that's been through pockets and change jars for 50 years, and here's the most exciting part: there have been a few extremely rare 1972 Eisenhower dollars that shocked the coin collecting world. We're talking about coins that combined high-grade condition with a rare minting error. These are the coins that only show up once in a blue moon, and when they do, collectors go wild. So, what could one of these rare coins be worth? Well, while the average 1972 dollar might sell for a few dollars in decent shape, the rarest examples, especially those that are verified, graded, and in pristine condition with error features, have been known to reach extraordinary prices. And now, the moment you've been waiting for: one very rare 1972 Eisenhower dollar, featuring a striking mint error. And preserved in flawless condition, once sold at auction for a stunning total of $81,000, yes, you heard that right. $1 turned into $81,000. So don't underestimate the coins you have. Dig through those drawers, check those old albums, and if you find a 1972 Eisenhower dollar, take a close look. You never know, you might be holding one of the rarest and most valuable coins in modern American history.